Godhunters, Rangers, an excerpt read by myself. The wind blew softly into the darkened trees, the canopy ensuring a near opaque cover of the high day sun, with only a handful of rays of the well-meaning sunlight piercing through. There stood a lone figure within, his frame only visible with a stroke of light that ran along his face and down his chest. He had dark stubble with a mustache and a goatee. His hair touched down to his shoulders, with a dark sage hood covering most of his face. He held steady as the wind blew along his cheek, with a few leaves scattering among the wind. Soon he acquired his target within the trees and the darkness. It was faint, but he saw the gaunt figure hunched over a buck that was recently killed. The blood of the decapitated animal was spread across the forest floor as the other creature feasted upon the flesh. It was naked, but possessed no gender that was visible, aside from the pale skin that covered its body. It was odd. He had never seen any such creature in a bestiary within the kingdom before, and the few books he had managed his hands upon during his time in Arendelle spoke neither of it. Whatever it was and its intentions, it encroached upon their territory. It would die a relatively painless death. He exhaled as he simply let go of the arrow as it flew with grace. The steel broadhead had pierced the flesh and slaughtered the neck of the strange figure, still managing to eke out a yelp before 6 more arrows sung through the trees as they stabbed the abdomen, leg, and chest. That did not stop it from scurrying from the fallen buck into the darkness of the woods, bleeding as it did, with it staining the pale look with splotches of crimson. It was gone. Only the strange screeches it produced could be heard within the woods. The ranger had left his position to approach the decapitated animal, but the other similarly garbed rangers all converged together. A dark sage cloak with the hood covering their heads and part of their faces. The leather jerkin bearing the crest of the snow dragon with a cream-colored long shirt underneath. Leather vambraces on the wrists, along with fingerless black gloves. A pair of black pants and stitched leather boots. Silver long swords hidden among the belted pouches that carried most of their personal gear. They all varied in physical appearance, but the uniform made them a dangerous force in the forest. The eldest of the group, a tall man with olive skin, a black beard, with short stocky hair and green eyes, spoke up. They glanced at him. "Galen," he paused, looking at the other rangers before stopping at a young woman. Strands of blonde poked out from underneath the hood as she stood rigid, with his eyes stopped upon her. The bits of pale cheek he could see conveyed one emotion that Galen could tell consumed her. Terror. "Elena, you two hunt that creature and bring its body back to me. The rest of us will return to camp." The leader left his order clear as the remaining rangers scattered back into the brush, as Galen and Elena looked at each other. This wasn't the first time he had been left to clean up the mess of the other rangers, and it certainly wouldn't be the last.